We are set to go. Ladies and gentlemen, people around the world, welcome to the weekly beer show with me, Travel Man Dan. And oh, wow, do we have a great show for you ahead of us. And we are pumped up, excited. Whether this is your first time with us or you're a regular audience member, thank you so much for joining us this Sunday morning or wherever the hell time it is over wherever you're at. I swear I haven't had a drink already, but we're going to get into it. We have some delicious beers. I already see Jens all the way up in Norway, freezing his butt off up there. I see that you're here. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much. Guys, let me tell you a little bit about the show. If you don't know, we show up here each and every week. It's 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, waiting for the show of some beers and a little vodka. Okay, nice, Jens. I like it. But if you're new to the show, that's what we do. We go ahead and we review beers here. We have guests on, and we have great segments like What Would You Rather? We have a segment called Good News. We do another fun segment where my counterpart and co-host is going to go ahead and tell us something about beer. It's just a fantastic time. So if you're here for the first time, thank you so much. Grab a beer or two, saddle up against the bar or in your kitchen, or if you're watching it on the toilet like the one guy does. Be sure to join us and have fun, enjoy drinking beer. If you're a regular occurring audience member, thank you so much for each and every week showing us the support. Carlos Z says, go Rams. I'm going to have to say thumbs down to that, baby. All right. I'm going all the way Cincinnati. I guess that's the best choice. Hey, Tenacious Freak. I got something for you a little bit later. There, as I can see, Xi Jinping is here, the people's beer. Welcome to the show, Xi Jinping. And thank you so much, guys. I can't reiterate how much you mean to us. When I first started the show, I literally was doing it in a little shack, a little back area with no room to move. I just started cracking beers and talking about it. And I really can't say thank you enough for the people that have continued to stay here, to watch us, to grow. As you can see, the show develops. It gets better. We add new things. And one of the things I've added since then is I'm no longer in a shack anymore. I'm now in a studio, which is pretty cool. Lunatic. And I have a co-host. And let's go ahead and bring that co-host in. Ladies and gentlemen, people around the world, please welcome Mr. Nate Hopper. Welcome,
Hey.
Nate Hopper.
How you doing, Danny? Good to see you, man. Had to. Hey, you got the hopper right. Thank you. I appreciate it. I didn't tell you. I didn't switch it up this week.
Oh yeah, I thought I was gonna call it Hooper, but some people call it Hooper. But I know the premise of the show. Welcome to the show.
What's going on? How are you?
I'm friggin' awesome. I am really good. I'm doing great. I got some exciting beers to go ahead and review.
Yeah, we do.
The year's kicked off pretty good, and unfortunately, things didn't work out the way that I wanted to them last week. But we played well. Brendan, TFG fam, what up? Getting all excited here, Nasty Nate. Nasty. What's going on with you over there, Nate?
Hey, man. I got a birthday party for my son today, so it's been a bit of a hectic weekend. I was able to get out to a beer festival yesterday, which I was shocked I was able to find time, but I was. So it's been a good weekend, very busy and kind of exciting, actually.
Cool, man. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. I'm definitely gonna go ahead and I got something for little Andy a little bit later, and I want to hear some more about that beer festival. But like I told the new people on this show, if you're just hopping on, that's what we do. We go ahead and review beers. I didn't mean to respect Nasty Nate's from Half Baked. No, we know what you're talking about. He is a nasty mo. Already, we're laughing. We're having a good time. That's what I like to hear. And if you're new, and I was telling you about the beers, one thing we like to do, Nate, is laugh. Right? That's what this whole thing is about. Work very hard at trying to produce the show and getting it up to where I want it to be. Nate is always half-baked, and thank you. So let's get into today's first beers. What do you say, Nate?
Let's do it.
All right. So today actually has a theme, Nate. Can you guess what the theme is? Bucky, shalom.
Hockey.
No.
Something. Is it tied to hockey in any way?
Did you even tweet the promo?
I did. I thought you were asking me like I wasn't supposed to know. New York?
Yay! There you go. That's right. All things New York. I don't mean New York City, like, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? How you doing? From where? I mean, like New York State. I guess they're probably like, hey, how you doing? How you doing? I'm down in Albany. They're actually a little bit more. That's the funny thing about it. Is like you got New York City where they really behave like that, right?
Yeah.
And then you got places that trickle down, like especially Western New York and stuff like that, like Albany and where I'm from. And it's like sauced up Goomba, like, hey, how you doing? And they don't even know they're friggin' doing it.
My favorite of the transplants from the Northeast that come out to the West Coast, and they've got like a little bit of it in them, but when they transplant out here, they're all of a sudden Goombas, and everybody's got, they're talking with the mannerisms, and it's just so funny. They like recreate themselves, new versions of themselves.
Oh, it's totally that. And one of the things is like, I have to be very careful of that because I come from a very Italian American neighborhood, and I was never like that over the top Italian. You know what I mean? Like we got into it last week where I'm definitely going to be getting a herringbone going again. But I know exactly what you're talking about, Nate. I hope that I don't portray that, and then I do it to keep it in my back pocket for acting, but. Yes, today's show is going to be all about the state of New York. We got some great breweries from the state of New York. And the first one that we're going to be doing, we've done before. It's from Seneca Lake, which is one of the Finger Lakes. And I want to tell you, Nate, do you know where the Finger Lakes are in proximity of New York?
I would imagine it's probably somewhere near Lake Erie, like north of Rochester. I don't know, somewhere around that area.
It would be east of Rochester. But it's smack dab in the center of New York. If you look at the map, if you look at the map of New York, you're gonna see like these. They look like fingers from a like a giant cat or something. Those are the Finger Lakes, and this particular one is from Seneca Falls. We've done this brewery back in October. We had a delicious beer called Breakfast with Churchill right there.
Yep, that was great. Love that one.
Yeah, and this one is going to be, hey, what's up, Half Trolling? Skull. Today's beer is from Warhorse Brewing. It is called the Double Dry Hop Double Dan, baby. Double
Look
Dan.
at that.
All right, Double Dan. Okay.
Where's the hat?
What? You're getting it right now. Thank you. You're getting it right now since it's Double Dan, baby.
Look at this guy. There he is.
All right. No disrespect to the people in the military, but I have this old Army helmet. There it is. What does it say? Make draft beer, not
people. I can get on board with that.
I can get on board with that. All right. Let's go ahead and put up the sign. That's what we're drinking. It is Double Dan, and it is a dry hopped IPA. Pretty cool can. Hey, there's like a little scripture here. I do a lot of reading, man, Dan. So why don't you go ahead and throw that out there and let us know what's going on?
All right, so it's pretty long, so everybody bear with me. But anyway, like I was saying, hops are the beauty of the beer. You can dry hop it, boil it, single hop it, cryo freeze it, oil press it. There's East Coast IPA, Milkshake IPA, Brute IPA, Double IPA, Wet Hop, Black IPA. There's Belgian Wet Hop. Belgian IPA, Rye IPA, New England, New Zealand, Fruit IPA, Triple IPA, West Coast, ESB, Dessert IPA, Pale Ale. Well, I told you that if we actually found a way to make our Lieutenant Dan IPA even better, we would can it. And I am a man of my word. But if you think for a second that I am calling the beer Lieutenant Dan, you got another thing coming. It's Double Dan.
Oh, shit.
Lighter, sweeter side of our flagship IPA. You could say the brewers have given it new legs. And the music pairing for this beer, which I love that they do this, is Let It Bleed by the Rolling Stones.
All right. How does that song go, Let It Bleed?
That's the album.
Oh, that's the album. Is there a song called Let It Bleed by the Stones?
There is.
Can you sing it?
No.
Come on, I'll lay the beat, dude.
That's not. It's very close to the beat, by the way.
Thanks. I thought Are you in war with beer, Danny? No, this is not themed. Lieutenant Dan, I guess Double Dan, whatever. I don't know where the hell this is going. That was not the beat to let it be. That was some clod hopping thing that I did. I don't know what that is. Nate, I'm excited to try this one. What's the alcohol percentage on this baby?
7.5.
7.5 in your face. All right, in your face with that. Gang. Right. So 7.5. Definitely going to get a little screwed up on this one, so look for the slurring a little bit later. But I'm excited to try this one because it is a double dry hopped IPA.
Yep.
It's a specific type of IPA. Let's go ahead and crack this sucker open. We'll take a sniff and make a pour. How do you say that?
Sounds awesome. What color do you think this is going to be?
Jessica Tandy Blonde.
Jessica Tandy. I have a feeling most people don't know who that is. Jessica Tandy.
you didn't expect that to come flying out.
Wow, man, that is super
juicy. Oh,
yeah.
that is a juice monster right there, Nate.
It definitely is. It's got to be in New England. It's not labeled as that, but that's a New England IPA.
Wow. Okay, so I'm guessing it's Jessica Tandy Blonde. Let's go ahead and pour this sucker in, and I'll show you what it looks like. Here we go. I'll give you guys an up-close look at what this is. I mean, I could just smell the juiciness coming out of this thing. Super, super thick, super juicy. Look, it's got a little bit of darkness to it. Oh, yeah, baby.
That's a really nice-looking beer, man.
That is an Instagram-worthy looking beer. I mean, it's crazy how it's like everything's going on in this thing. You got carbonation, you got a lot of milkiness going, you got a lot of crazy stuff. But ooh,
look at the color. It's. I mean, that's as hazy as it gets right there. Super cloudy, super juicy. Are you getting anything on the carbonation there?
I'm getting a lot of little bubbles that are disappearing. I don't really see many flakes going on here. But hey, Nate, there's only one thing to do right now, and that's to go ahead. Hey, twin, what's up? Love the helmet. Thank you. Let's go ahead and drink it up. Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump. Cheers, my man. Wow. Wow. It's not very light. My first initial sip is super. I know this sounds generic, but it tastes exactly the way that it smells. It's got a really juicy flavor. And I know that sounds weird because a lot of times you smell beer and it doesn't really taste like it. You got a lot of like afternodes and weird things going on in the beer. But no, exactly what you smell, you taste here. It's very fruity. It's very juicy, but it's smooth and creamy at the same time, if that makes sense. My first sip, I actually really, really like this first sip. Nate, what about you? How was your first sip?
Yeah, I like it. It's this is an Imperial IPA. It's definitely got that hazy element, the juiciness. It's super powerful, packed on the front of the palate. You're getting a lot of tropical notes in there. It's some passion fruit. There's a little bit of grapefruit. It's quite pithy. It's not sweet. And I like these. Now, with the craze of hazies that's going on, I am kind of preferring going to the West Coast IPA because there's just so many of these options. But this is really nice. And it's not too juicy that I'm offended by it. It doesn't taste like orange juice.
Yeah. And I'm going to respond to Bucky's comment. Says looks really creamy. It is, and there's not a lot of bubbles. It's really creamy, but it's very different than the California creaming because I get my hands on a creamy beer, I absolutely love it. So maybe that has something to do with it, but it definitely has got a lot of juiciness and fruity flavors going on. Nate, I see you're fumbling around here with the website. Can you show us a couple of things? What's going on that website?
Yeah, so their website, it's not it's not my favorite website, but they do have some stuff that's quite interesting. So look at that. You got the Buffalo Bills shirt right there. Nothing wrong with that.
That's the fruity flakes.
But look there's the Double Dan beer right there. So that's pretty cool. And you scroll down, you can just kind of click on these. These are just different Instagram posts, which I think is pretty fun. Yeah, I like their website. I really like that picture. Check this one out. Valentine's Day coming up.
Whoop, whoop.
But the Double Dan itself, right? Yeah, I kind of like the color of that. Hold on, how do I get out of here? But yeah, I'll pull it up in a little bit. I'll get some more pictures of the beer.
Yeah, it's a really nice color. It's Instagram worthy. Does it have a widget in the can? No, it doesn't. It's not that kind of like nitro, if that's what you mean. But one of the things that I like about this brewery is that it is close to home. It's only about 3.5 to 4 hours from Buffalo. So look forward to the brewery tour to start up again in April, where I start going ahead and going to breweries and traveling and stuff like that to breweries. And this will be one of the ones that I go to this summer. I'm going to do a few in Buffalo. I'm going to do Amigang, and I'm going to do Warhorse.
Ooh.
Amigang's in Cooperstown, my man.
Amigang's awesome.
Yeah, look for some fun stuff, but really cool brewery, close to Buffalo. And, well, Nate, we might as well address the elephant in the room. Everybody here knows I'm a diehard Buffalo Bills fan. And yesterday was one of the franchises, or last week was one of the franchise's most historic meltdowns. I got to say, it was probably the biggest emotional roller coaster I've been on since 1999 when Frank Wycheck got the pass from Kevin Dyson, and it was illegal.
Music City Miracle.
Music City Miracle, because the fact that, I really like this team, this coach, and we waited so long to get there. And then we finally, put it this way, if we would have won that game, we would be playing in an hour and 45 minutes against probably, now they're playing the best football of anyone right now, but I think they're probably the weakest team left. And at home in Buffalo, the city would have been wild. I mean, and then to go to the Super Bowl for the first time since '94, it's just an epic meltdown in 13 seconds. And because we were down, we came back. Then we were down, and we came back with 1:05, and we left 13. I thought we were gonna pull it off, but yeah, I know it's crazy, man. I just don't even. I'm still not over it. I woke up in the middle of the night on Tuesday and on Wednesday with crazy fucking nightmares. 13 seconds, and we gave away the Super Bowl. Well, that's in hindsight.
The thing is, though, you had that little grasshopper out there that as soon as he catches the ball, I don't know how I don't like that defense. I don't like the call for that defense. I think you still got to get to the quarterback. I think you got to pressure him. He sat there. He made one read, threw it right to Tyreek Hill, and he was able to scoot all the way out. And then the Travis Kelce one. My gosh. First of all, my question is, why didn't you squib kick?
Well, first of all, my response is, I ought to mute you because you didn't even call your friend. I was in depressed mode. Okay, Gary, I know. Chris, I bet. You didn't even call me. You didn't even send a text message. You didn't even say, "Hey, pal, are you all right?"
Your face.
You were in your feelings, and you didn't even call your boy to see if he was okay. That's all we talk about is football. So screw you. All right.
Hey, how you doing? You doing all right?
Everything how you doing? Pop Bongo. All right. So it's getting.
Bills have a bright future. They will get over the hump. I agree.
Listen,
now, unfortunately, you lost to the same team 2 years in a row. And it's like that battle between the two, in my opinion, the two best quarterbacks now, especially if Brady's really retired.
Well, the thing is, let me reverse a little bit since we're talking about this. But the thing is I really believe this is what I like about McDermott is he sticks up for his guys, man. I think that the squib kick was in play. I think that wasn't a squib kick. It was a kick that would have landed like on the 5 to 0 yard line. I think the kicker just missed it. I think he just, I don't think that was talked about. I don't think McDermott wanted to throw the kicker under the bus. Because here's the thing with the squib kick. If they get the squib kick and Tyreek gets it, the squib kick is a melee of people, of 10 people running down. So assignments are blown. It gets crazy. And you can't.
Winds down the clock, though.
It can't take that chance with Tyreek Hill. But a short kick, you can definitely stay in your lane, and I think the kicker just missed it, to be honest with you. And I think McDermott,
hey, it's football, man. They're humans. They make mistakes.
at the end of the day, we lost. Bills have a bright future. It just sucks because I wanted to see Dable win one with us because he's from West Seneca. He's a local boy. So, that would have been cool. Next thing cool that hopefully they'll sign Kenny Dorsey. A lot of people don't know this, but Kenny Dorsey was actually McDermott's guy that helped Cam Newton. And he's a friend of you remember AJ from the show. He's actually AJ's cousin. So really, really looking for him to get the bump up. But that's it. Hey, how about the Sabres, baby? It's all New York, baby. The Sabres kicked some ass yesterday against the Coyotes. I got to tell you, Nate's in Vegas. You're going to like what's coming, okay? You're going to that's not a good rumor, Chris. We don't want to hear that.
Yeah, I saw that this morning.
You're going to like what's coming within the next month with Jack Eichel. I think he's going to help Las Vegas push the, needle, and you guys are going to, make the playoffs, and you're going to do some damage in the playoffs. I predict Las Vegas winning the cup either this year or next. Yeah, this year or next year. I think they're going to have a strong push. But after that, I think it's going to be Buffalo. I love the way Tuck and Krebs are playing right now. They're just looking phenomenal. Loving that. So go Buffalo. Sabres play today at 5:00. Next thing in the sports world, Nate, Tom Brady retires.
But maybe not.
What?
Yesterday it already came out yesterday that per his father, the Buccaneers have not been notified and he is not retired.
Legal implications, my man. That's all that is.
I don't know, because the way that they were suggesting it was that he was going to make $15 million on February 4th. Why would he retire now? I don't know. There's just a lot swirling around it. I don't know what's true.
That's what I'm saying. Legal implications. He was on when he announced his retirement. He was on. Hey, everyone! I can only drop by. Bubba, don't worry, Bubba. Okay. It's only legal implications. He's going to hang out for another 6 days and then do the official press conference. When he announced his retirement, it was on the press conference. But I hate to say, Nate, I hate to say this, man, but I don't hate Tom Brady, and he beat the shit out of the Bills for years. I think his record was 25-4, but I don't hate him, man. So I think he's the greatest ever.
Yeah, I love Tom Brady, man.
Yeah, cheers to him.
We lost to him in the Super Bowl and then beat him in the Super Bowl. The last team to beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl are the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, we never beat him in any significant game of any stature. We just couldn't do it. But I just like who he is as a person. If you watch his trajectory when he was at Michigan, with Benson, that whole thing with Benson, and just an interesting competitor. And if you're a true fan of sports, then you got to respect Tom Brady. He doesn't go and
yes.
Yeah, I told you it would happen.
Sniper.
Okay, so yeah, things are going to fall down on the set from time to time. Hopefully they won't land on my head, but if ever they were, today's a good day because I'm wearing the helmet. Moving on, Nate. We got new shirts. I saw Gary Kiffner out there. Thank you, Gary. All right, so I've got so many. These are just 2. I got 5 other samples. These are the sampled shirts. Okay. Oh, it feels so good. Okay, these are samples. I got 5 other shirts in the other room that I'm going through. I'm making merchandise for the channel. We're going to have Travel Man Dan exclusive shirts. We're going to have the Food Friday shirts. We're going to have the weekly beer shirts. And we're going to have a limited edition of Nasty Nate Hopper, Nate Al Smith, Mr. Nate over there. All right, we're going to have a limited edition. You're going to be able to buy 1 of 4 or all of 4 soon.
All of 4.
The next couple of probably about 6 weeks. I'm just really taking my time and making sure the product stands out. It's going to be awesome. The best quality shirt that I can find with the best quality image and printing, and the artwork is going to be really cool. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully you guys will be able to pick up a shirt and support us, support me on the channel, and support us for the show. We would love that, but there's a lot of Danish going on. And guys, the next thing I want to talk about is let's go ahead. Let's take this is what we're drinking, Nate. Are you enjoying it?
I am, actually. I like it a lot.
I like it a lot, man.
Really good. I can feel the warmth that it's from the 7.5% too.
Yeah, this is
Starting to sneak up on me.
This is a really good one, actually.
I would buy this beer again for sure.
Yeah, I would too. I mean, there's something about juicy IPAs that I don't love, but this one I really, really like.
Look at the color on this thing, dude.
You know what? To be honest with you, for me, the color and stuff like that, I'm not all wazzle dazzled by it. To me,
right,
they're a color of an old Milwaukee is what I think of when I think of beer. You know what I mean? Like your Pilsner.
Changing though.
Damn it! You got to it. You called me out. Lieutenant goes down fast with shrimp. All right. It is for Tenacious Freak's birthday. I did know that, and I was waiting. So we're going to go ahead and do a double segment because today is 2 birthdays. I want to go call and shout out. Ladies and gentlemen, the one guy that started watching me here on the Beer Show before anybody, who really started off, who gave me those awesome glasses, who I just absolutely enjoy so much to see here. It is Tenacious Freak's birthday today. Woohoo! Tenacious Freak. And it is also Anderson Messick's birthday. Woohoo! Little Andy. Sorry, Cindy. Little Anderson's birthday. All right. So today we're going to do a double birthday song. We're going to start with Freak and then we'll do Anderson. All right. So here we go. Hold on. Let me get the band ready. You guys ready? Give me 1 second. The tuba guy is getting ready.
The tuba guy. Aren't you the tuba guy?
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tenacious Freak and Anderson. Happy birthday to you.
Wow, very good. By the way, Danny, you are a good happy birthday song singer.
Oh, thank you. You know, unbeknownst to many people, I practice.
Did you practice that?
You know, I'm not married. I don't have kids, and I don't even have a girlfriend. What the hell else am I going to do? I'll spend a half an hour here and there and practice my happy birthday. Hey, I stand out in the crowd.
You definitely do.
You know, it's funny that you said that because you know how many times I've been in like group gatherings and people come up to me afterwards and go, "Boy, you're a really good happy birthday singer."
You're just very loud when you do it.
Lieutenant Dan. All right, moving on. No, seriously, Tenacious Freak, happy birthday, man. Happy birthday. I hope you have a great day. Dude, you know, the universe brought us together. Whatever whimsical crystals you want to think about, I don't know, but I'm so happy that you're here, that you continue to support. Yeah, I wish you a great one and a wonderful year. And Nate, Anderson's probably too little to understand my language right now. I speak too fast, but I hope that he has a great day today at the birthday party. Brendan better not get too drunk. And, you know, just have a good time. I love you, buddy. I'll see you sometime this spring. Yeah, and happy birthday. I wish you a great year, and I'm looking forward to you growing up, little Anderson. All right. I know you'll watch this one.
Very nice.
I love you, buddy. All right.
Thank you.
On. All right. Let's move on to the show. Nate, we talked about Warhorse before, but I've made an updated video. Why don't we go ahead and take everybody on a brewery tour?
You got it. Ooh,
All
nice.
right. What did you think of that place, Nate?
Well, I'll tell you what, that's a pretty nice looking brewery. I can spend a day, 2, or a weekend there. No problem.
A day tour or a weekend there. Well, buddy, we're gonna do it this summer. Morning, buenos dias, Marissa. All right. You know it's I want to go back to a couple of things on that brewery that I'm gonna pull up. If you look closely or you saw it, you may or may not have noticed this one right here. Okay, so next to it is this place called Three Brothers Winery. So they're actually like a dual kind of wine. So if you really want to get cocked, that's the place to go because you can go. You can have beer and wine. Nate, you were more of a wine guy before, weren't you?
Not really. I've never really been into wine.
Really?
No, more. I'd say more cocktails. But yeah, wine is just not. It's not that I don't like it. I don't understand it, and I don't understand it the way I understand beer. So I feel like I miss part of the point of wine.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's a lot to know about wine.
There is, but it's very similar to beer. Once you understand, the root of it, the foundation, and wine's very different in that they stick to the specific recipe versus beer, which is kind of, as long as you have those 4 ingredients, they'll put a marshmallow in something if they can.
Yeah. Well, bacon and eggs. What's better than enjoying some fresh burgers or drinking a fresh beer? Yes, exactly. I'm with you. But let's go back to Warhorse Brewery. Look at this, Nate. This may be one of the best sandwiches I've ever seen.
BLT.
Not only just BLT, and I'm not a huge bacon guy. Like I'm not gonna wear socks with bacon on it. I'm not. Like people are doing that these days, but that sandwich right there was stuffed, and the thing that they do differently than I've never even seen this any other place. BLT always comes on bread. They went ahead and put it on that brioche bun.
Yes,
Kenny's fruit. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I believe you're the one that introduced me to the brioche.
I think that's a ciabatta, the one that it's on there.
You sure?
I think so. Maybe I'm wrong. Hold up again. That actually, you know what? Yeah, I think it's brioche. You're right.
It looks like it because okay, right here. Can you see my arrow where I'm pointing?
No, you can't see it.
Okay, look. There's a thumbprint. Okay, and there's a thumb. Do you see the thumbprint?
No.
Okay,
well, yeah, it's right. It's on the left side, right?
Yes. Okay.
I see it.
So that's what makes me think that's not a brioche because a brioche wouldn't have that. That has this thumbprint has little cracks going on in it. So I think that's just a hard roll.
Oh, like a Kaiser?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But either way, the way that they got that thing stacked with bacon.
Dude, it looks so good. The shredded lettuce like that. Yeah, I would crush that thing.
Dude, we're going to go there, man. We're going to go there. I love that Warhorse uses corrugated metal. I just like the way that they do things over there.
Very open.
But going back to the wine, and wine people they're pretty snobby in a lot of circles, aren't they?
I mean, I think beer people are pretty snobby right now.
It's getting there.
What happens is anytime you get, that amount of people where they become professionals or things start to get out of hand. And that's what we do here in the States. We try to one up each other. And then people they start to look down on everything. I still remember the days of drinking Budweiser beer.
Yeah, I still drink Budweiser. When I come home from work and I just want a beer, I mean, I just drink a Budweiser sometimes just for that beer feeling. That or High Life, probably High Life. Is my number one, just go-to beer. And I got nothing wrong with that. I look at all these delicious beers we had. I mean, for crying out loud, we got beers up there, cucumber beers, cannoli beers, and that doesn't make you a better person because you can drink a fucking flavored beer. You know what I mean?
Well, anyway, there's an interesting aspect to it though. It's turned into this thing where you're hunting for these beers because when you try some of these things, they're so outrageous and so different. It's not like you're going this beer that we're about to drink, the orange one. I bet we're going to finish that and go, I like it. I don't know if I ever need to drink it again, but you're happy that you found it and went through the process to taste it. And then you move on. There's so many options. Before we were growing up, there was 10 options. Now there's thousands.
Yeah, when like microbrews, when Pete's Wicked Ale came out, it was like this huge thing, you know, like
Yeah,
but now we're way advanced. So hopefully you'll always continue to be who you are, no matter what beers you drink. But regardless of it, one thing that you need to do, being able to buy beer, is you got to bottle it correctly. You got to put it in something.
you
Okay.
do.
So there's another great debate, Nate. Is
What's
it
that?
is it can or is it bottle? I mean, most of my experience, the old school people like the
Mhm.
bottle. The
They
new
do.
school people like the
Yep.
can.
There's a reason for that.
Oh yeah, what's that?
The only really way that you can disturb a beer is through temperature and light. So that's why when you taste a Corona or a Heineken, for instance, anything that's in a clear or a green bottle, you're going to taste a bit of a skunkiness because light is entering that and it's affecting the brew itself. You can also happen through temperature. So you can shake a beer for 10 minutes, put it in the fridge, and it's going to relax and it's going to be fine. But those are the two areas. So in a can, obviously you're getting 16 ounces, you're getting more beer, and the ABV and these things are starting to go up. So you add 4 more ounces to the beer, you also add $5 of the cost of the can,
Yeah.
right? And you're escaping from any light going in. So these beers, especially craft beers, are meant to be brewed and drank within a 3 to 4 month period from a can, fresh out of a fridge. So they're trying, that's the whole point of doing that, is not so much that bottling is actually a better avenue for keeping your beer in.
Okay, so it's a lot of times it's just cost effective.
It's
And
cost effective and it prevents the skunk of the beer.
now I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Anytime you combine these two words, champagne and beer, you can never go wrong. And that's the highlight, baby. Don't be disrespecting the clear bottle. Champagne, a highlight.
But it does taste like something. I agree, but it's all, that beer is also, it's so simple in its ingredients that the shelf life can be maintained for a year or longer. That's the whole design behind that beer. Same thing with a Bud Light. There's nothing interesting in there. There's nothing that's going to go off in 3 months. So the shelf life is 6 to 9 to 12 months.
Oh, well, that's interesting to think because I was talking to you this weekend and you were telling me you're at the bottling process, Nate. Why don't you go ahead and take us through and go ahead and enlighten us, educate us, direct us to what you're doing and how you're doing it this week with beer when you're going ahead and bottling it. Can you tell us a little bit about how you bottle beer?
Right. So we talked about the the actual beginning part of brewing a beer a couple of weeks ago, and the process is quite long. I went through, it was 2 weeks from yesterday that I actually went through the process of that, and we talked about it on the show. Then what happens is you got to wait for 2 weeks for the fermentation process of that brew to actually turn into alcohol. And when you turn it into alcohol, you then, after 2 weeks, you get to bottling day. So here's the bottles that I use. If anybody has tried the beer Grolsch, right, they would be familiar with this cap system that they have on here. These are really easy to use for home brewers. You basically just wash them, make sure that they're not contaminated. You fill the beer, you cap them, you put them away for another 2 weeks. Here's another shot of the bottles, quite pretty. So for what I did was I bought 6 growlers, and the growlers are this big. They're 32 ounces. This is filled with beer. Okay, you can see in there, right? But these are 32 ounces. There's a lot of beer that gets made in 5 gallons. Okay, so the one way that
Dude, hold on a minute. Throw me a bone. Let me see that growler again.
Look at this.
Holy shit, dude.
I know.
How many ounces is that?
This is 32. It's big. It's bigger than my head.
Can you do 40s, bro?
I mean, this is kind of what 40s are in now. I don't really think they're not really 40s anymore.
No, they're 42 ounces.
I think it's 33. Anyway.
No, they're all right, go on.
So we got 16 ounces here. So if you were just to do a standard 12-ounce bottle, it would be like 3 cases of beer from 5 gallons. So the yield I got was 6 growlers at 32 ounces and 15 16-ounce beers, which is actually a decent amount of beer. Now, when you start to do this process, it's the most important part is sanitation. Is you need to decontaminate everything that you're using. The buckets, the sponges, the brushes, the tubing that you're using, and I'll show you a little bit here. But the most important thing that you need on this day is this.
What the hell is
it's a no rinse cleanser. So what does no rinse mean? You basically add this couple of teaspoons into a bucket with some water, and you come up with a solution, but you don't have to rinse it off. You don't have to clean off the bottle. You just submerge each bottle into the liquid, dump it out, make sure you get everything off the cap, you set and you dry it. You don't have to rinse it off. So
Does it work for humans on skin?
Actually, not really. It's specifically for home brewing. Because I was curious about that. It does not act as a soap for your hands, for instance. I mean, it does, but not really the way you would want to do it.
I know some areas in LA that we could just drop that stuff on people.
Really?
If it worked.
Anyway, so that's the cleaning solution that you would use. The next step is what you're going to do is you're going to incorporate this. At this stage, the beer is not carbonated. For you to actually get carbonation, you need a carbohydrate to pull. The yeast needs to pull from that carbonation or from the carbohydrate, and they use corn sugar in this batch. So
Hold on a minute.
Go.
Sorry. So carbohydrate, carbonation, does that have any correlation?
I don't know about the way that the words are constructed, but yes. So it's going to pull from the carbohydrate, which will then release carbonation. But this happens specifically in the bottling stage.
Beautiful.
So this bucket that I have is completely non-carbonated. It's like beer water. So what you do is you basically take this, you dump it into a little pot with 16 ounces of water, you bring it to a boil, and then you put it into this bucket. You put it into the bucket at the bottom. Now the bucket on the top, that's where I had that. That's the one with the airlock and the lid is sealed tight. That's 5 gallons of fermented beer right there. Then you got to go through the process of transferring that into a clean bucket. How do you do that? Like this. So you connect this hose, and oxygen is not your friend in this process. Okay. So you don't want to just leave the hose at the bottom of the bucket where it's splashing all over the place, because when it splashes, that's how you get oxygen. So you want to keep that pressed against the side of the container, make sure that's clean, sterilized, decontaminated. Then you fill it. And that's basically the process. What you're left with before you bottle is that. So this was what was fermenting. That's called sludge at the bottom. That's all the yeast and all the sediment it just kind of settles at the bottom of.
What about that pooey ring around the top?
That's from the fermentation as well. That's positive. You want that in there.
Okay. Carlos, he asks, what do you use to chill the wort?
So when you're pulling it, that's back in the boil process. When you are pulling the 5-gallon pot off of the stove, you would have an ice bath ready in a sink. Submerge that for about 30 minutes, keep replenishing ice, and you want to get that to under 100 degrees.
Okay, awesome. Well, Nate, once again, you've really shocked me with this whole process, and I've learned a lot about, just carbonation, how to go ahead. And now, Nate, you got to understand, Nate's doing buckets. This is kind of his first batch out of his house. But when you think about the process, it's no different than a large scale company. They're just doing it with the best equipment, the largest stuff that you can buy, the best stuff you can buy. So, I think it's really great that you're able to come on here and you're able to educate and add some value to what's going on. Because, I learned a bunch of shit on this segment. And thanks again, Nate. That was awesome, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun doing it. It is time consuming. The bottling process takes time, right?
Sure.
Like you have to sanitize every bottle. And when you're going through, 30 bottles, you got to soak it in, make sure it fills completely up with the sanitation solution, dump it out. So it's a process, but it's kind of therapeutic and it's fun, and you get to enjoy the end result. And I'll be sending you some, and we'll review it on the show.
Yeah, I mean, that's plus too, you're learning the grassroots of it, much like I was talking about earlier when I'm stuck in my little Home Depot shed and I got, nowhere to room and I'm still reviewing beers and having fun and making shows, now the progression is I have a studio, it's getting bigger. Pretty soon we're going to have a large team or a small team. You're looking at it from a base of like your fundamentals and the foundation. And, imagine when you have the machines to do this stuff and you're like, oh man, I remember when I used to just, do each one. So that's kind of cool.
You're just multiplying what you're doing. So once you get, now there are some shortcuts that you do as a home brewer, like you use the extract from the malt instead of like going through the mash process. But again, I can on the next one, I can mash myself. It's not that difficult. It just takes time.
Yeah, you learn another process of it. Carlos, he said, my friend bought all the gear to homebrew. Takes a while, but fun to drink when you've brewed it. Absolutely.
Exactly. It does take time.
Looking forward to that, Nate. Thank you so much for bringing in. How about a round of applause for Nate Sag? All right.
Boom, boom, boom. Thank you. You're welcome.
Hope you learned something, guys. All right, let's go on to another thing that I want to talk about is news, good news. Now, this might be, in retrospect, good news or bad news. Depends how you look at it. But today's good news is going to be coming to us. And if you'll bring up that picture, check this out. Round of applause, says Frank. Yeah, thanks, Nate. Awesome. Go ahead and bring that picture up, and I want to read to you the good news.
I can't find it. Where is it, buddy?
Hold on there, buddy.
Why can't I not find it?
It seems to have disappeared from the catalog. But I have found it. There it is, folks.
There you go.
The world's first proven flying car just received an airworthiness certificate by the Slovakian Transport Authority. Last June, this car deployed some mechanical wings and took off from a runway in the city of Nitra in Slovakia and landed in Bratislava 35 minutes later. After it folded up its wings, the exotic sports-looking car drove down the highway. The aptly named Air Car then did this 200 more times across 7 hours of flight time before the aviation authorities decided it was reliable and safe. Air Car certification opens the door for mass production of very efficient flying cars, said its creator, Professor Stephen Klein. It's official and the final confirmation of our ability to change mid-distance travel forever. The dramatic watershed moment tone is perhaps appropriate, as the car can reach 100 miles per hour on the road and 8,000 feet of altitude while needing only 2 minutes and 15 seconds to deploy or store its wings. Last year, GNN reported that the prototype was developed by a company called Klein Vision, founded by Stephen Klein, who spent 20 years turning his dream into a reality. For unbelievably small amount of money, about 2 million euro, the Slovak created the world's first flying car to travel between airports. Holy shnikes.
That is crazy.
Can you believe that thing?
It's an ugly looking car, but it can fly.
You think it's ugly?
I don't like the look of that thing. Do
Really?
you? Nah.
I do. I think it's nice.
It looks like a Tesla.
I think it kind of looks like a Speed Racer.
Well, you know what? Actually, it does. Now that you say that, it does.
Like,
let me put that thing back up there for a second.
It does
look like Speed Racer.
I don't know what kind of car that, but if we're looking at it, like, where do you sit, in the back end or the front? I think he's sitting in the front.
Yeah, he's sitting. You can see the person in the front right of the cockpit.
Oh, yeah, I can see it. Okay, so here's the thing with this. I'm kind of conflicted around the whole principle of it. Yeah, I think it would help out a lot in LA, but I'm not worried about the car plane type thing. I'm worried about the person. Okay, have you seen people on the road? Okay, now you want to put them 8,000 feet in the air? People can yes, exactly, Brendan, exactly. And they can't do a little boozing before they doing a little cruising. And the last thing we need is for something like this to come flying out of the air, crashing on someone because someone too many.
Like, how are they going to figure out paths? There has to be. You need to still have a road system, even if you're in the sky.
Yeah, and not alone.
Right, because you can't be flying over residential communities where it's there's something just falling.
It's the same thing. It's this damn Niagara Falls plates. Okay. Damn Niagara Falls. Okay, does not want to stay up quickly. We'll fix that after the show. But hey, we'll see what happens.
But that is good news because we're making progress. And I remember as a kid, I wanted a flying car. So here we are.
I just always remember talking to my grandma when she died. Before she died, she was 96. And you know, back in her day, she was like, you know, we used to think traveling to the moon was like Buck Rogers and like all this crazy space stuff. And then in 1969, they did it. So, you know, in our lifetime, we may see something like this. I don't know. I can't tell you. But that's good news that we're making progress, Nate. And it's time for the next segment, which is show and tell. And show and tell is a really fun one today. It's going to go quick, but I want to tell you, listen, as a struggling artist, actor, whatever you want to call that side of me, I've held down just about every job in almost every possible category, whether it be kitchens or manual labor on the field somewhere. I've done it, you know. And one of the things that I remember I liked a lot was retail work. I don't know why, I just liked it. I like the mundane process of putting up socks on the shelves that they go or stacking soup cans where they belonged. And I'm talking about way back in my college days. I used to work for this store called Kmart. And that's today's show and tell, guys. I found my old Kmart blazer, guys, with the name tag still on it. I have no idea where.
I remember when you worked there.
Yes. Okay, Nate, I worked there in Rocky Mount while I was in college. I didn't have a lot of money. So the money I had to do, I had to go to work. I wasn't like a privileged college kid. I still had to go to work. So my friend's father was the manager there, and he got me a job at Kmart. Here it is with the original tag from, I guess, look at that. Daniel.
Dude, that is from 1999.
Yes, it is. It is my original.
I remember many times I picked you up. No, either myself or John picked you up the last day you walked out.
I got in trouble. It's the only time I was ever actually. Marissa says, "Well, I like that Kmart too." You have your best, Marissa.
I love Kmart.
That's hilarious. Yeah. So Kmart, there it is, guys. I worked there. Nate, why don't you go ahead and tell us about your favorite job? Do you have anything to show us or tell?
No, I don't. My favorite job was probably my first job. I worked at Dorney Park in Wildwater Kingdom, which is a pretty decent-sized theme park outside of Allentown, Pennsylvania, where I grew up, which is about 20 minutes outside of that, Slatington, Pennsylvania. So I worked in the, what was it called? I don't know. It was basically like where companies would bring, 50, 75, 150 people and their families for an entire day. And I was the person that, helped cook the food and serve the food. It was fried chicken and I don't even remember, but that was my first job. Dorney Park in Wildwater Kingdom. Absolutely loved it. I think as a matter of fact, they still have or used to have the tallest roller coaster in the world. I think it was called Steel Force. But anyway, I was 14 years old. That was my first job.
That's funny. Did you ever go to Action Park?
Oh, man. Well, there was a lot of lawsuits at Action Park. Do you remember the commercials? Dude, they would be going down on those, like, I don't know, those little, like, scooters, and you would, like, kind of, like, pull the brakes into the cement.
My thing was, like, they had, like, hundreds of people on that waterfall grotto. Where's the burrito loving now? And people were jumping on top of each other. Confessions.
Dude, it's crazy, yeah. They did a documentary on Action Park.
Yeah, I know. And I had never watched it because I felt the anxiety pre-watching it. But you actually were from that area and you remember it a little more vivid.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember all the stories and people getting hurt. And
did you ever go there?
I maybe I did, but I don't think so because I think I would have remembered it. I'm pretty sure my parents wouldn't let me go.
Oh, okay. Blue Light at Kmart. I remember the Blue Light special.
Yep.
All right, moving on, guys. Thanks for hanging with us. We had a lot of shit going on, fun stuff, but this is really what we're drinking. It is a double dry hop IPA. It's called Double Dan. It is made by Warhorse Brewing in Seneca Lake, New York. I'll go ahead and be sure to put down their website down below if you want to try to find some or visit their brewery. It's delicious, really hazy beer. Nate, let's whack this sucker down and go ahead and score it.
You got it. I like that beer.
Me too. Me too.
I like that.
All right, let's get the scorecard out. On the way to the Niagara Falls.
Double.
Damn. We'll get right into it. It's what you think of juicy IPA. Okay, these new trends of IPA. This is like a signatory one. This is the one that's like unfiltered. It looks like the Instagram photos. It tastes super juicy. Like it doesn't taste anything like Papa's beer. And that I like about it. It's got something about it that I really enjoyed. I can't put a finger on it. It's just overall, it didn't have one more overpowering characteristic other than the other. I felt like it was an even, smooth. You know what you're going to get. You know it's going to be different, but it's going to be good. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a score of a 4.0.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3.5. I like hazies. I do feel like I need to take a break from them from time to time because they're so sweet and so kind of thick. But this one I feel is not one of those novelty ones. I think this is something that's easier to drink. It's more approachable. It's definitely hoppy, and I like this beer. For me, 3.5, I would drink it again.
Nice. All right, price. Now, this price point wasn't that bad. It was $3.49, Nate. Not bad. You know, you're getting a 7.5% beer. You're getting something from, I want to say, a smaller brewery, a local brewery to New York State. And forget about it. Okay. I think that's pretty good. I think overall the price is right where it should be. After about $2.60, some shelves you'll see it a little bit higher. I think that's a good price. I'm going to go ahead and give it a score of a 3.5.
I'm going to go 3.0. I think it's less of a fair price than you're suggesting, but we have to take into consideration that this is primarily a very localized beer. So getting it, and you probably wouldn't be able to find it out here at a Total Wine or something like that. So for me, 3.0. I think it's a little bit pricey, but it's still worth it, I think.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Double Dan. Let's take a good look at the can. Great can. I love the black can. I always like the black can. Who else has got a black can? But it's like there's a matte black, okay? Which I don't
Belching Beavers has some, that Mexican stout. Remember that? That's a black can.
Yeah, it's not, but it's not the shiny. It's the matte black. The fact that they go ahead, and they give you this description and it's Forrest Gump related. I think that's badass. I love their slogan: "Draft beer, not people." That's pretty cool. You don't really know what's going on though, but I like their font. I believe that's a Cooper font, maybe something of that range. Really cool can, like it. Overall, I'm going to go ahead and give a score of a 3.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3.5 too. I like it. I do like the dark can. I like that they tell this little story. They get cheeky with it. I think that's pretty cool. I like that they give a music pairing. I don't think I've seen another beer do that. I would consider doing that. I think it's really brilliant. Maybe if they even threw some food pairings on there, it would be pretty cool. But for me, I'm going to go 3.5. I like it. I'm a big military guy, so I like this kind of stuff. I like paying homage and tribute to the military. Plus, it's our host's name, so that's cool. Double Dan. I like it.
Can't go wrong there, I think. Accessibility, unfortunately, strikes a lot of these smaller breweries. Yep. I don't think you're going to be able to find this much more outside of the central part of New York, because it's a very specific type of beer from a small brewery that's only brewed at a certain time. I think it's going to be really, really hard to get. I think that we ended up with it and we got lucky. But after that, I don't think you'll be able to find it. And because of that, I like the fact that it's obscure. Definitely loving the fact that we got a chance to do it. But if I'm looking at it on a whole scale score system of accessibility, I got to give it a strike. And I'm going to give it below the average of a 2.0.
Yeah, I'm going 1.5 for the same thing. I think it's super local, super regionalized, which is not a bad thing.
Not a bad
But
thing.
when we score it, we have to take that into consideration. So for me, I'm going to go 1.5. It's going to ding the overall score, but that is the reality of it.
That is the reality, but we can make up for it when we look at the TMD X Factor. I mean, it's from Seneca Lake. It's a beautiful area. It's New York. It's my home state. It's one of the breweries that I definitely would love to visit. We did do the Winston Churchill Nitro Breakfast with Churchill. That was another one. So anytime Russia says drink more vodka, anytime you double up from the same brewery, I definitely got to agree with that with Nate. I love the fact that they pair it with music. I think that's cool. That's something unique and different, and I've never seen it anywhere else. Overall, I love the artwork. Double Dan is definitely success with the taste. I'm going to go ahead and give it a score of a 4.5 on the TMD X Factor.
Yeah, I'm going to go 4.0. A lot for the same reasons. The fact it's New York based, the fact you brought it, gave it to me, it's kind of a gift in a little bit of a way. I appreciate that. I like the name. I like the style. I like the beer itself. The fact that it's an independent nano brewer out of central New York, I like that. So for me, I'm going to go 4.0.
All right, guys, the score is in for TMD, and can we get out of this? I don't know. The last three beers have been the same exact. No, I'm sorry. Let's forget that whole segment. This beer scores a 17.5. All right, 17.5 for the Double Dan. Okay, not bad. 15.5. Nate can't get over the fence, but he's got a good way to go ahead and validate it. And that's what makes it great is we give you our honest opinion, our honest score. We're not trying to hear to puff you up or puff this brewery up. We tell you what we think. And
thank you, Frank.
That's the scores. You guys always pick interesting beers. Thank you, Frank. We appreciate that. We got a lot more to come. And next week's going to be a lot of fun because we're going to have a guest on the show from a podcast called Wish You Were Beer. Is that correct, Nate? Did I say that right?
Oh, Beer in Front.
Beer in Front. Wish You Were Beer comes at the end of the month. Beer in Front will be with us next week. So please stay tuned for that. It's a podcast. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have this person on here. The person's name, Nate?
Dave. Yeah,
Dave
we can drop the link to his stuff and make sure that you guys can check out his content. It's pretty good. He's got a podcast. I think he's on episode like 100 right now. So he's been doing it for quite a bit. He's got a really good take on beer, and he's based out of Chicago. So the episode will be kind of Chicago themed, much like today's New York theme, which I really like.
Cool. I'm looking forward to that. Frank said BIF. What is that? Beer in Front. All right, Biff. All right. So it's the New York attitude today. We're sticking with the theme, and it's time to go ahead and take off the helmets, okay, and turn this sucker around. All right, as we turn this guy around.
Ooh.
Yankees, baby. We're a few months away from catchers and pitchers reporting, but we're about a few seconds away from me introducing the new beer. The new beer is kind of a fun thing because if you may or may not know, I resonate with the Scandinavians and people from Denmark. And this next brewery is brought to us from two twin brothers from Denmark who started brewery in Woodbridge, I believe, Brooklyn, right, Nate? Is that Woodbridge is Brooklyn?
Yep.
And then they created another one in Queens. So let me go ahead and introduce today's beer. Today's beer is brought to us from, I'm so friggin' excited to try this one. I'm forgetting everything. Evil Twin Brewing, and it is called Orange. All right.
Look at that.
Orange. Look at that. It is right. Nate, I am pumped out. Ever since I seen this one, I'm so excited to try this. I believe we tried one before, a purple one that tasted like grape. Yeah. But this one,
you had it. We had it together when you were here, I think.
I believe so. We never reviewed it.
No, we didn't, but we drank it together. I think we had like 10 or 12 beers that night, and we tried a whole bunch of different ones, and that was on the agenda.
Yeah, and it's right here for aesthetically pleasing. But the thing about the oranges that I really like about this one is how wacky it is. I don't like sours, so twist me. Okay, turn me.
Not yet, you don't. Not yet.
Not yet is what I mean. Yeah, twist me, turn me. Okay. Another thing is I love orange drinks. So I'm really excited to try this one.
What's
And,
your favorite beer, by the way?
my favorite beer?
Recently, it's been your favorite beer. You talked
Oh,
about it earlier on the show today.
California Creamin'.
Yeah, so that's a different style of orange, right? That's going to be more of like the creamy style orange. I'm curious if this is more like soda pop style orange. It does have the milk sugar, so I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit chewier than you would expect from a soda, but that's what I'm expecting it from. It kind of tastes like a soda pop.
I mean, here's the thing, it's sour, right? So
Yeah.
like it's called a sour, so it's definitely going to be different than any other beer that we've tried. If I look at, it's brewed and packed by Evil Twin Brewing in North Haven, Connecticut. Okay, it is a sour of 5%.
Yeah.
Sour ale with milk sugar and orange syrup with natural flavors and certified colors.
So you'll see milk sugar on anything where they're trying to get body and they're trying to get thickness. So a lot of these like pastry sours that are super popular right now, they're kind of, I wouldn't say it's at the level of the hazy popularity, but it's really there. Pastry sours are going to put that lactose or milk sugar, and that's going to be a thickening agent for the beer.
Yeah, I've talked about that back in the early days of like how people like that milk lactose look.
Yep.
But let's go ahead and crack it open, Nate, and let's take a sniff, and then we'll take a pour.
Woo!
Oh yeah.
I'm doing it in the Teku today.
Oh, I don't know what that is, but it looks great.
Wow, dude, you know what it smells like?
Orange Crush.
Fanta.
Fanta. Fanta. Okay. All right. It smells like pop. Let's see what it looks like. Here we go.
It's going to look like pop.
It's a little pinker than I thought.
Oh, it is pink. I like
you guys
that.
probably aren't seeing the consistency
It's like
of
a
it.
salmon color, Danny.
Yeah, you're not seeing the consistency at home, but like as you pour it in here, it looks like ruby red grapefruit. But wow, look at that. That's a sweet looking orange.
It smells exactly like you name the orange soda. That's what it smells like.
Really? I'm getting the orange soda, but I'm also getting a weird sour smell to it.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah. Not like a sour fart, but like a sour, like
not like a sour fart.
Yeah. Like your gassers, dude. Like it smells more like yeast. Anyway, let's go ahead and whack it down. Give it a sip. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh my God. It's exactly like orange soda.
Wow.
If that was their intention, they knocked it out of the park.
Wow.
What do you think?
Wow. First of all, go Denmark. Please. I really want to move there. But wow, that is delicious, man. That is like
so different.
It's totally different. It does taste a lot like orange soda. That's definitely the most prominent flavor you're going to taste. Orange knee-highs. But one of the things that I want to say that about this beer is sometimes when we were getting into those like winter ales and things like that, it felt right to drink around a winter day. Ooh, even the burp tastes good. But this one has a really, really nice, refreshing flavor that you could drink almost to cool off.
Yeah.
And, Nate, what did you think? What did you think of your first sip?
So I kind of agree with you. I feel like this, Danny, do you remember when we would travel in Thailand and we would be on the beach in Pattaya and we would be walking into, I don't know, Circle K or 7-Eleven, whatever it was. And do you remember the drinks that we would get?
First of all, I remember a Pattaya. And then second of all, I would never get these drinks.
Yes, you did.
You would buy them for me. You gave me more shit in Southeast Asia that I would never, you're like, try this one, this peach thing. Why is the bottle will look like a sucky bottle for a kid and like it'll be alcohol and like it was just I do remember that.
So anyway, there's a wine cooler called Spy in Thailand, and it's something you would drink like at the beach, right? I feel like this is that kind of drink. If
Yeah.
I was like bellied up, against some kind of little like bar shelf overlooking the ocean, I want to drink something like this.
Yeah, this definitely has a distinguished taste, like a wine cooler, like you said, a spritzer, a radler. It definitely takes us to a different flavor profile than what we're
Super
used
good.
to. So don't knock it if you never tried it, right? That's how our whole thing. And like, yeah, this is definitely different. But Nate, let's go ahead and throw that website up there. Show us these two twins from Denmark.
So this is their website, Evil Twin Brewing. Again, as Danny said, they're based out of Brooklyn. They actually don't have the beer up on their site anymore, but look at all the offerings they have. I mean, look at how beautiful this website is. Just we'll kind of knock, Danny, if you want to talk about any of them in particular, let me know. But just look at this thing, for instance. It was his birthday cake, and they didn't even care. An ice cream cake Imperial Stout at 11.8%. Danny, if there is a beer that is out there that is calling your name, I don't know if there's one more than this. If it was a donut, maybe.
I was going to say, look to see if they have a donut. I think they have a French toast beer that's pretty popular.
Look at this barrel aged series. So they're pushing the envelope. They're trying a lot of different stuff. Here's a cream ale, or actually it's a triple IPA.
Pull it up.
Pull
it up.
There you go. So a triple IPA. Now, there is a little bit of controversy over the terminology triple IPA because it is actually not a standard from the Craft Beer Association, I think is the actual entity that names these things. So this is it's kind of out of the box. So it's a new thing that a lot of brewers are trying is these triple IPAs, which means it's just going to be a higher alcohol volume. And you can see this one's at 10%.
Okay, yeah, that one looks interesting. Can you order and have you delivered from their website? Mike, I'm not really sure, but I would think that if anywhere that you could probably find this is in Buffalo. And I know for a fact that they have this at Consumers because when I was there just last month, I know that the one in Tonawanda has a few Evil Twins. So check it out. See if you can go there. And I'm sure you can probably go to Kenmore and ask Klimkowitz to go ahead and order you some if you can.
Klimkowitz.
He's the owner or he's the manager at the Consumer Beverages in Kenmore.
Oh, okay. So, Danny, you did a little bit of research on this brewer. Here they have their story here. Do you know anything about it?
You know what? I got conflicting. I don't know what the writers. I read so many like weird hipster website articles on these two guys, whether or not they were evil twins or whether they hated each other. I'm sure they don't hate each other. I think they're two brothers from Denmark. The one came over here after he owned a brewery in Denmark, a small town in Denmark. He created Evil Twin. The other one, I think, is the more of the actual brew master.
Okay, gotcha.
I think there's so much stuff out there on the two of these guys and their pictures and the internet that's a little bit conflicting, and I really don't quite understand. There's just only one way to approach this thing, Nate, and that's just to go to New York City and meet these guys.
Yeah, I mean, that would be pretty awesome. Here's their Ridgewood tap room. Look at how beautiful that is.
Yeah. Ridgewood is in Brooklyn.
Gorgeous tap room. What I can talk about a weekend. Give me a month in this place.
I mean, it's definitely more like your Brooklyn, like a hipster, Silver Lake and stuff like that. But I don't got any problem with anybody. One of the things is that they do that's very common to a lot of breweries and stuff like that. What's that?
Sorry, keep going.
No, growlers, yes. But what they do to keep cost effective is they have this nice place like this brewery, but they also have food trucks right outside. And we're going to get into the brewery tour in a minute. You know what? Let's just go ahead. Keep an eye out for that. You're going to see the food truck is called Claudia's, and it's a Guatemalan food truck that parks outside of Evil Twin and brings them great Guatemalan food. You're going to see the menu and stuff like that. So let me go ahead and bring up the menu. I mean, the video right now of this. And you guys can take a look at Evil Twin Brewery. They have two breweries are in New York. One is in Ridgeway, Nate.
Ridgeway and Dumbo.
Yeah, one Brooklyn, one Queens.
Ridgewood.
Sorry, yeah. And so here's a look at it. We'll take a look at their brewery, but they're definitely doing things way beyond other people.
Pretty cool
when it comes to beer. All right, so there it is. What'd you think, Nate?
It was awesome. Like I said, I want to hang out there. The food looks good. The tap rooms look cool. So it's a pretty awesome brewery.
Yeah, that place looks really neat. I love what they do. I love that the crazy beers and sours and things like that. They're definitely a place that I would recommend trying. That if you ever see Evil Twin, they have a lot of like blue beers and just strange things that you're not used to. But if you're not used to it, they do good. Yeah, I noticed you reached back there for your beers, but you don't got them there no more, huh?
No, I just recently bought a refrigerator that I put outside because I had a beer explode on me. This one right here. The Orange Avenue Shandy by Coronado. There it is, the explosion. Look at the can. In the middle of the night, apps just popped off and sprayed all over the room.
Dude, that thing really popped. I mean, it really popped its top. But Evil Twin Brewing, guys, if this is you're just hopping on, this is what we're drinking. The orange, it is fantastic. I'm loving it. It's a sour, but now it's time for a little what would you rather. Ooh. All right, what would you rather, guys? You can go ahead and tell me now. You can tell me later. I'll always answer your comments. So the first question is, I'm gonna give you a house, okay? A place to live. Which would you rather live in? They're all in New York State. This is all New York State stuff. So, which would you rather live in? Would you rather live in Pittsford or New York, the Mushroom House? Boom.
Wow. Wow.
All right. 3 little mushrooms. Okay. In the forest. All right. Nate, is there any other pictures of that? Look at the inside of this place. Pretty cool. All right. It recently sold for about $600,000. You got an outdoor patio, but you're living in the elements of the forest. You are there. You're doing it. It's probably a single family home with maybe, you have a mother-in-law or something, but really cool place. The aesthetics on the mountain, in the forest, beautiful. That looks like a Travel Man Dan weirdo place that I'd like to.
Dude, that's not weird at all. That place is phenomenal.
I mean, it's not your typical track home, but But the second place, and take this into retrospect. Okay, obviously one is worth more than the other, and this one is very beautiful. This one is
money's out of it. Okay,
yeah, it's from the Thousand Islands, New York. You may have been there. I don't know. Maybe Travel My Dan will visit there. It's called the Bolt Castle. Look at that, baby. It's on a fucking island. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Look at that thing. It's got.
I like the one in the front, the little one in the front. Can I just have that?
I know. That's the one I was saying. I like the little chamber. But I'm trying, like, from this picture, Nate, that looks like there's nothing connecting to it. So that's the end of it. That might be the dungeon.
Yeah, you might be right. Yeah.
Like in the front of it, you see like there's like a boat or something. Like, how do you get to this place? Obviously, this place is immaculate. It's a giant castle. Look at that thing. It's got some Gothic stuff. Look at it. It's
the
3 levels.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you got the banisters. You got you got a separate circular coming out of the banister. As if you couldn't walk all the way down the stairs. You're like, oh, I need a break and I need to look down. So there's a little, there's a little circle out there. I don't know. Not the castle for me. Drunatic likes the woods. I'd rather live in the mushroom house, says Marissa. People are liking the mushroom house.
All right, one more time. We'll go to the first one: mushroom house or Bolt Castle.
Man, I don't know. It's tough. I love the mushroom house, but you know what? I always kind of look at myself as noble, and I'm going to go with the castle for me.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. These are great because I could live at either one of them very happily, right? But there's something about like swinging off this little like deck from a rope from a tree in the middle of the day, like I'm Tarzan. Like I want that. Like that mushroom house is absolutely phenomenal. Get me away from everybody else. You can say the same thing about the castle too, because it's on a remote island. It has a moat. But for me, I want to be in the woods.
I mean, castle. There's woods there. It's remote. It's Mike says Bolt Castle. Been there many times. In fact, I was there in the '80s when it wasn't yet rebuilt, and I've been there. Unfinished town called Alexander Bay. I hope to get there, Mike. I hope to go ahead and do it.
We're gonna go.
Maybe this summer. It was actually the Child's Playhouse was that separate. That's you ever need. That is pretty cool. All right, question number 2. Which TV show would you prefer? All right, they're both filmed in New York, and I'm talking about Mad Men. It was a hugely popular hit about drinking, and about womenizing, and about drinking, and about the basically it was Don Draper and marketing in the 60s and the whole turn. Do we have anything on that, Nate? We don't have anything on that.
There's no pictures. It was Madison Avenue back in the 50s, the advertising industry. It's one of the most popular shows ever in American TV history.
Right. Or Mr. Robot, okay, which took place in Coney Island. It was about a distressed hacker, and he breaks the code, and he's all of this, government stuff. And, just if you like that kind of stuff, it was filmed a very different feel than Mad Men. Oh, yeah. It was very current. But the reason I picked these is I have some kind of weird 6th degree with both of these people. I knew Rami Malek before he was famous, and he used to serve me chicken every day. And I also was the body double on Top Gun 2 for Don Draper, who is what's his name? Forget his name.
John Hamm.
John Hamm, yeah. So I was called in on Top Gun 2 to be the body double. But if we're just talking show and we look at it like which one I like better, I got to go with Mad Men. I thought it was great. I like Mad Men a lot. Nate, what about you?
Yeah, I prefer that time in history more than I prefer current time. So I would just I watched season 1 of Mr. Robot, loved it. Watched the first 2 seasons of Mad Men, loved that as well. But then I kind of got bored with it, both of them actually. But if I had to pick one, I would choose Mad Men just because it's a timepiece.
Yeah, I like those time period pieces. Now, nice, Mike. Nice. Love the bowling alley. All right, going on to question number 3, the food. It's New York, baby. Which would you prefer? New York cheesecake. Take a look at these delectable, delicious. Look at that cheesecake. Thick. It's got it looks like spackle. It looks like stucco. It's got raspberries. It looks delicious. You got blueberries on there. Or would you prefer a more classic cinnamon bun? Ooh, baby, look at that thing. Frosted up. You got a bunch of cream in the middle of the hole. And then you got a different style where the hole is there.
In the middle of the hole.
All right. I mean, it's pretty crazy, those things. Those ones look disgusting in a way.
Those things are awesome, man.
And they just look a little too weird for me. But anyway. If you're going to choose one, cinnamon buns I love, but I always find out halfway through the cinnamon bun, why am I fucking eating this thing? And, I can't go up against a cheesecake. I love cheesecake. I'm going New York cheesecake, baby.
New York cheesecake. You know what? I got to go New York cheesecake too. I love cheesecake. I'm not a huge cinnamon roll fan because it's just too much. Cheesecake is too much. But when you're, like you said, you hit a wall with the cinnamon roll about halfway through it. And when you do, you're thinking to yourself, I won't eat this ever again in my life.
Yeah, it's just too much, especially here in the United States.
Some
Yeah,
might think this is too much. Actually, this is quite orangey and sweet.
I don't particularly notice the sweetness of
You
it.
don't?
No, to me the most uh, the biggest characteristic is the sourness.
Okay.
Okay, the sourness to me is superseding the sweetness. But
Really?
overall, I'm liking it, Nate.
I'm getting a lot more sour on the front. I wonder if my taste buds are still not 100%.
Possibly. All right, let's go to the next one, Nate. The next one. All right, which would you rather? Both New York State high school, like really prominent things. Which one would you prefer to go ahead and be an all-star athlete? Would you rather go to the Olympics and be a wrestler?
Look at that
Whoa,
guy. Boom.
kind of looks like Harrison Phillips. Okay, I'll show us on the other wrestling picture if you could, Nate. Would you prefer this Olympic style wrestling? I mean, the guy's getting flipped upside down, and the weird thing is the people that are getting flipped upside down, they have expressions on their face to realize I know exactly what's going on.
I'm getting smashed right here.
I'm gonna land this thing. Or would you prefer a sport that's really popular in Western New York and throughout New York? It is lacrosse. Look at the Buffalo Bandits Stadium. There's got to be 15,000 people there.
The Bandits.
Okay. Buffalo Bandits.
We got the Philadelphia Wings.
All right. Lacrosse. It's kind of like hockey. It's kind of like soccer. Look at the goalie. It's like, dude, they put so much pads on him. If he just stood there, that'd probably be his best defense because he's just
got
big
more
enough.
pads than a hockey goalie, doesn't it?
So this one's tough. I always wanted to do wrestling, but I was always a little bit hesitant with wrestling because you're coming off of a football during the season, and it blends into football, and then it blends into baseball. So I always ran indoor track. It was a little less abrasive on my body, and I was good at it. I was fast. I ran the 400, the 600. So I definitely love the sport of lacrosse. Every time we used to play it in PE, I like the concept of it because it's kind of like hockey, but not as skilled in terms of skating. So for me, I'm going with lacrosse. Nate, what about yourself?
Yeah, it's a tough one for me. I think I would choose wrestling just so I knew I had that ability as an individual to ever defend myself. Whereas lacrosse, I'd have to be carrying a stick around everywhere. So I'm going to go wrestling.
Nice. All right, going with the last question. What would you rather? And this one's kind of not gross or whatever. This one is kind of understand me as an American. Our country is very big. So when I look at it, which would you rather travel? Because sometimes I talk to Americans about this all the time. Would you rather travel around your own country or would you rather travel around the world? So I'm going to give you, like, let's say 10 years. You can go anywhere in your that 10 years. Even if you're a smaller country, you can see every bit of the country. Or would you see 10 years of the world? So that's a tough one because you can see a lot of parts of the United States that are different. We have mountains, we have bogs, we have forests, we have cold, we have warm. But for me, without a doubt, it would be the world. I just find that with the world, you have different people. And that's really what I love more than anything. That's why Travel Man Dan even came to fruition, is because of the people of the world, not necessarily the places. So that's what I would choose. I would go with the world. Nate, what about yourself?
World,
hands down.
Again, yeah, of course, man. Like you said, you can look anywhere in the world to find different topography, different climates, right? A beach versus a mountain. But it's really about the people that you're sharing that area with, and get me around the world before I focusing on this country anymore.
Nice, Nate. I got to go to the bathroom. Then we're going to wrap up the show. In the meantime, why don't you tell everyone what you got going on today?
All right. How about this? I'm going to show. So we did each one of the beers that we reviewed today. We had the Double Dan and we have the orange. Each one of them. They're actually not highlighted on the websites of each of these brewers. So I figured a nice thing to do would be to show you their Untapped page. So right here, you see the Untapped page for the Double Dan. If you guys haven't been on Untapped, this is a phenomenal resource for all things beer. When you're on here, you can search for a particular beer. You can find it on the app and see how close that beer may be to you, or if it's not close to you at all. You can see they have pictures in here, different reviews. It's a pretty awesome website that I've been getting into more and more. Like every time you drink a new beer, you check in. So this individual right here, Brian S., is drinking a Double Dan double dry hopped IPA by Warhorse Brewing Company at Untapped Home. So that means he brought that beer home. He was drinking it at home. He drank it out of a can, and then he'll basically give it a score. As you can see here for the Double Dan, they've got 1,800 total check-ins, and the total score, where's the score? I'm completely missing it. It doesn't have it. But it generally will give you a score. So right here, you had 1,800 check-ins. Here, 4.01 is the score. So if anything over 4 is a good score on this app. I can also show you one from the orange beer. Let me just pull that up really quickly. You can see what theirs looks like. And here's the orange beer, right? Shows you Evil Twin Brewing. It is a sour. It had 1,900 check-ins. And this score came out to be about a 3.88. And as you can see, much like the beer that we poured here, it shows you the color and basically the fact that it's an orange soda. Here, Rob B is drinking an orange by Evil Twin Brewing at Untapped at Home. So again, another person that bought the can somewhere, took it home, drank it at home, and then checked in on the Untapped app. So this thing's pretty cool. Here, you can go to the front page. This is what their front page looks like. You can search for your beers right here. So Danny's favorite beer is High Life. So we'll put that in. All right, let's see what it comes up with. Miller High Life, boom, right there. Let's see what the score is. It is a modest score of a 2.69, but this shows you the power of Untapped. Pretty cool site, and if you guys love beer, check it out.
Wow, thank you, Nate. Oh, cool. I see you found a way to twist my nuts into that one about the High Life, but it's like I said, it's the champagne of beers.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Danny, considering the kind of beer it is, that's not a bad score. Like there's some scores that are in the zeros when it comes to that macro style beer.
All right, well, let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and roll the dice. Then I'm going to go ahead and score this. And this is a 3-sided die. We have a 1. We have a 2. And we have a 3 duplicate. So whatever I roll is going to be either 1, what are you reading, what are you watching, or what are you listening? So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and spin this sucker, and then we're going to get into the score on the beer and get out of here. So it is a number 2. What are you watching? I'm watching a great new series on HBO called Pennyworth. It's about Alfred Pennyworth, the butler in Batman, and him before he was the butler. Really cool. It talks about the SAS days. Lots of cool DC comic stuff in there if you're into that kind of stuff. But that's what I'm watching. It's on HBO Max. If you get a chance to check it out, I suggest it. I'm about in the 3rd episode. It's your classic villainy. It's just a great little series. I can't give it a full score because I haven't watched all of it, but what I've seen of it, I'm liking. Nate, what are you watching?
I watched a documentary recently called The Alpinist.
Oh.
It's on Netflix. If you guys have Netflix, you can check it out. I think it was trending in the top 10 for a while. Basically, it's a story about a guy that, basically climbs all of these outrageous mountains, but he does it with no gear. He completely free climbs. I don't know if that's the exact terminology. I apologize. But he's basically free climbing with no ropes, nothing. But, just literally going up to 7,000-foot mountains and just climbing up them for the day. So if you like that kind of stuff, it's breathtaking. It's beautiful, great music, and a great personality. And it's worth checking out. The Alpinist.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out. Jens, there's surely Vikings from Norway invading U.S. before Columbus. Yeah, I'll have to definitely check that out. So now it's time to go ahead and whack this sucker down, Nate. This is what we drank, the Evil Twin Orange, what is no longer in existence, I believe, or you might be able to find it in the shelf. But here we go.
Yeah, I think this is one of those beers that they probably had circulating about a year ago and whatever's left on the shelves. But when you go on their website, they don't have it anymore. So I would imagine these brewers have a lot of beers that just come and go.
All right, for me, I'm going to get right to the point. It's phenomenal. It's got a tang to it. It's got an orange aftertaste to it. I don't really like sours, although this one is prominent in a sour taste. I feel like that the orange is really, really starting to come on. I don't think it's as sweet as Nate suggested earlier to my particular taste buds, but I definitely like it. I would definitely have it again. I think it'll be really good. And correct me if I'm wrong, Nate, or there is no wrong way to drink it. I think this beer would be really good with ice cubes. I'm going to go ahead and give it a score of a 4.5. I think it's that good.
So I like the taste, and I agree on the ice. I think pouring this in a pint glass, the grape one, the orange one, just kind of just thin it out just a little bit is a good idea. I like it. It's not necessarily my favorite because to me it is sweet, but I do like it. I appreciate it. And I think they're going for orange soda, and I think they knocked it out of the park with the taste. So 3.5.
Yeah, it'd be like, oh, what is this is beer?
Yeah.
You're drinking this,
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, now look, beer doesn't always have to taste like beer. Beer is allowed to taste like something different. Nailed it.
All they need is 4 ingredients for it to be beer.
Price. Nate, what do we pay for these bad boys?
$2.49 a can.
$2.49. Very similar to the Warhorse, but definitely different. If you go stack up against the dry hop double, which is 16 ounces, or this one, you know what? I think that's also a good price. I think that you're trying something new. You're getting out there. Fantastic series. See, Mike's seen it. I think that this orange is definitely worth the price. I think it's a good price. And like the Warhorse dry double hop, I'm going to give it a 3.5.
I'm going to go 3.0. I think it's slightly, especially with the ABV being 5%, but this is a unique beer. It's a specialty beer. It's not a year-round offering. So the fact that I got it in Vegas, I'm probably paying somewhat of a tax there from coming from the other side of the country. So I'm going to go 3.0. Not a terrible price, not a great one.
Okay. All right, design. Let's look at the design. Very much going on, but I like that. Okay. Yeah. It's got that Scandinavian look. And when we look at the other beer that they did, the purple, they stay consistent to it. It's just the color and the font up in the corner. It's not intruding anything. I think that's a really cool look. And I actually really like the design. I think that because you know what you're going to get. Oh, that's the orange. That's the purple. You know it's going to taste like grape. If there was a red one, I know it would probably taste like cherry. If it was a pink one, it'd be watermelon. I love the design. I'm giving it a score of a 4.5.
I'm going to go 3.5. I like it because they're holding true to what they're trying to deliver here as a beer, and that's an orange soda beer. So there's nothing creative about it outside of the fact that they're being simplistic. So I like that. I'll go 3.5.
Yeah, it's crazy and as complex and weird as I look over here. I'm actually a simple person, and I like that. Accessibility, I don't think you're going to be able to find this much more. I think they do it on seasonal and not even seasonal. I think they do it when they want to, and maybe they're going through the flavor profiles. So we might see a green one with that tastes like lime, but the orange I think is going to be pretty hard to get, and that's going to strike them. And if you're in New York City, you might be able to find it. I'm going to go ahead and give it a score of a 2.0 as well.
Yeah, I'm going 2.0, just the same. Now, we did get it in Vegas, and we're on the other side of the country, so it's doing something distribution-wise. But again, I don't know what that means. Maybe it was the end of their, of their boil or whatever, the amount that they had offered. So I'm going to go 2.0.
All right, thanks, Have Trolling. We really appreciate you hopping on. Thanks to Agree and 8, too simple. Okay, so even the Dane is saying it's too simple from another Dane. All right, the TMD factor is that it was created by 2 Danish people. It is in New York City, and they have started to twist my arm on the sours. Between this one and my friend Rich DiChristina promoting their sours, I'm starting to get into them a little bit more. I don't know what it is because I like sour taste, but I definitely like this one and think that it does have a place. But for the TMD X Factor, I don't see any more significance other than that. 3.5 on the score.
I'm going 3.5. I like that they tried something different. I like that they're trying to approach it at offering something that's a soda flavored beer option. And to be honest with you, if I'm looking for something light, a lot of people are going towards seltzers right now. I'm out on seltzers completely.
Yes.
I'm done with them. This is something I can drink in lieu of a seltzer.
That's a good point.
Gives me kind of a poppy, effervescent, carbonated type experience.
Yeah.
In the sun. I'm done with seltzers, so this is a good offering outside of that. So I'm going to go 3.5.
Nate's exactly right on that. The seltzer thing, I never really caught the full movement. Yeah, I like them. I like the Black Cherry White Claw, but I would prefer more of these more. And for this score, I give the Evil Twin Brewing Orange a score of an 18. An honest score, a great score. This is a fun show, Nate. What'd you give it? 15.5?
Again, 15.5, which for me is actually a pretty decent score.
Oh, you're a tough judge, my man. You're a tough judge. But anyway, we have 17.5 for the Double Dan. We have 18 for the Orange. Now it is time to go ahead and close the segment out. Once again, I just want to reiterate the fact that next week we will have another guest, and it's going to start off the next year. It'll be called Beer in Front Podcast. So if you want to get yourself familiar with Beer in Front, check them out on all the socials. Just type in Beer in Front. Going to be on the show next week. It's going to be all about Chicago. I'm excited for that. But I want to close the show out with today's quote. And today's quote comes with a very famous comedian from the 80s. And, if you grew up like I did around that time, you definitely remember his movies. He's hysterical. And I'm talking about George Burns. And he said, "It only takes one drink to get me drunk. The trouble is, I can't remember if it's the 13th or 14th. and that's exactly it. George Burns was an older guy who smoked cigars, like most of you guys remember. And as you know, on this show, when we get rolling, we definitely get rolling. And this, when I say drink, I mean beers. And once again, if you're catching this and you think we're promoting alcoholism, we're not. We're just two regular guys that like to drink beer. And sometimes you get going and you pass a 12-pack and you're up in that high area, Nate. And George Burns is right. It's like, you know what? It only takes me one to get drunk because you've already had 12. And then you just don't remember that 13th could be like the pow, you know what I mean? So thought I'd keep it light with the quote. Funny stuff. Nate, do you have anything to say before we take off?
No, but we've only got 2 weeks left. The Super Bowl, these will be ready.
All right. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to trying out that first beer of yours, that first homebrew. If you give me diarrhea, you're done. And thanks again, guys. Please, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. If you could go ahead and share this video, talk about us, whatever you could do to help promote us, we'd really appreciate it. Nate, I'll see you later. Happy birthday to Anderson. Please give him a hug and a kiss from his Uncle Dan. And, if you got anything to say, say it.
See you guys next week.
See you next week. Other than that, I'm Travel Man Dan. And remember, it's a big world out there. Make sure you see every bit of it. Bye, guys. Go Sabres. Hey, na, 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 na. Hey, hey.